Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Naminehi Gora Karuna Swarupaya Hare Krishna Prasthayate
Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Naminehi Gora Karuna Swarupaya Hare Krishna Prasthayate
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayana
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayana
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayana Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gopaka Vrinda Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Mohana,
Haribol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Paragovinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Paragovinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Haribol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Paragovinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Paragovinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Haribol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Paragovinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Paragovinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Haribol Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gauranga,
Haribol Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Haribol Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gauranga,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga,
Jaya Jaya Srila
Haribol
Prabhupada,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada,
Haribol Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda
Haribol Krishna,
Paramahamsa,
Haribol Krishna,
Jaya Jaya
Haribol Krishna,
Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa,
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prestaya Te
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namine, Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestayate.
Haribol. After hearing so many topics concerning our relationship with the Supreme Person, who we really are, activities, there is one factor that we must consider always. It is seeing how we are loved by the Supreme Person. So it comes when tayo, all of us, we practice the process that will purify our heart and our mind and our intelligence. It is Lord Krishna's transcendental love for us that when we chant the holy names, it purifies us from all this misgiving and misconception. So if you're intelligent and after understanding clearly who you are, we must also understand and see clearly what drives us or what motivates us to be in a situation we are not really seeing and appreciating how we are loved by the Supreme Person. We're all looking for affection, love, comfort, shelter, and refuge. It's already there because the Supreme Person is the Lord of love. It's about His care and compassion for us. Hindi na nyo kailangan do things na para to be loved. You're already loved. Kaya lang, how come we are not appreciating it? It is because we are not able to reciprocate, to be in union, in appreciating how we can be also experiencing loving service to the Supreme Person. So the main factor is about our consciousness, our attitude, and the influence of the modes of material nature. So it's very important that we can direct the mind, because the mind, if we cannot control the urge of the mind, because the mind is always thinking, we are thinking using the mind, feeling, and willing. So if our direction is based upon illusion or ignorance, what will happen? It will be focused upon trying to pursue, and in short, we become fruitive workers. We try to find happiness through sensual enjoyment. We relate to the Supreme Person looking for happiness and affection, but on the absolute platform, the love is already there. It's us how we will appreciate paano tayo makikipag-relate sa Supreme Person. Nandun na yung pag-ibig ni Krsna sa atin. Ang problema, tayo. Makikita lang nyo how He arranged your life. He facilitate everything that you need. This body, the intelligence, everything. But if we are not able to appreciate how we are loved, hindi na nyo kailangan pumunta pa kay Lord Krsna, love me, I want to experience that. It's already there. It's the descending process of transcendental wisdom. If we are able to appreciate that through God's compassion upon us, we have come in contact with this loving representative. And it's about God's compassion upon us. Because of our misdirection, we are lost in this world of illusion, and the urge, we're thinking always what we can get, and it's all illusory. All what's in your mind, it's based upon material consideration, all illusory, not true. And all your feelings connected with your sentiment, it's also not eternal. And also the willingness to follow the dictates of the mind and the desire to be fruitive worker will not give you happiness, because it's all illusion. So definitely, if we are in illusion, then we are blinded by ignorance, and yung pursuit natin ng happiness is also not transcendental, not real. Because it's connected with the body. It's connected with the mind. And you're not the body and you're not the mind. So if you're intelligent, why invest so much in trying to experience this flickering? You think, I'm gonna enjoy this. Okay? And then, feeling, you try to feel, imagine. Actually, you're not even experiencing to sensual yung experience, but you imagine. And then you're willing to pursue, to follow the desire in your mind. But it's all illusion. Because we are in the wrong direction when we are so contaminated with the false ego, identifying with the false ego. We will not be able to appreciate God's love for us. And what we're longing is this loving affection wherein we can reciprocate. The problem is the love is there, but we don't know how to reciprocate. We are following the dictates of the mind, the urge of the mind, and it's centered upon this illusion. And it's about our selfishness. Our selfishness. So whenever we do things, activities we do, because if it's not guided by the process wherein we can engage in devotional service, devotion, under the guidance of the loving representative of Lord Krsna, who guides us, then we will not experience this fulfillment because we'll be directed upon. Madali lang nyo makita. Kaya when you do work, and if there's no ingredient of devotion, the mind becomes agitated because you feel hassle. There's repulsion. Ayaw natin. But it's only in the mind because we don't appreciate and we are not really on the platform of pure, loving, unalloyed devotional service. That is the reason we follow this process of purification and the Sankirtan sacrifice, the chanting of the holy name, to be situated in devotional service. God doesn't need anything from us. He's self-sufficient. Krishna is self-sufficient. He's the Lord of love. His happiness is simply love. The love of his devotees, the activities of devotees, the pleasure that gives him happiness. Although he's self-sufficient, he doesn't need anything. He doesn't need our work. Don't ever think that you're doing so great. We're just irrelevant, insignificant. That is the reason when we are not in control of we are not in harmony with this transcendental science. We do things to be noticed, to be relevant. And it's about how we express and follow the mind. And mainly, it is about grumbling. It is about resistance. It's about disassociation from that affection for Krishna because we follow the urge of the mind. So, I'll read to you here the situation, our situation, how we can be guided. Okay? Those who are situated, those who are situated in the mode of goodness, who neither hate in auspiciousness work, nor attached to auspicious work, have no doubts about work. So the living entity is active by nature. So being different from this body, activities, he sees it either auspicious or not auspicious, good or bad. He just sees himself as the witness, and he does not take part in the source of misery. He does not take part in the source of misery or karma, either good or bad. Because it's miserable, because you'll be connected with this body, which is the source of suffering. Because you'll come back here. As you sow, you shall reap. And there's karma. It is indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities. Therefore, it is said that he who renounces the fruits of action is one who's truly renounced. By nature, we are active. Everything we do, it's all about getting something. So yung someone who is understanding his true transcendental nature, he is not now a fruitive worker, but rather he connects everything in the service of God, devotion. How he eats, how he sleeps, everything. It's all about meditation in harmony in doing the will of God, and it is achievable when the mind is saturated with the Supreme Purifier, the Holy Names. So the practice we do here, you chant every day, but when we get so much practice and it becomes natural for us, the mind will be chanting the Holy Names. The heart will be gliding towards doing the will of God. And then the person, although in this material world, is not touched by this world. And then he sees agitation. It's not him who is agitated, but rather because of his identification with the mind. And the mind feeling, thinking, and willing, and he identifies with the mind, and it's about this body. So anything that disturbs the fruits of what he wants to get, he becomes disturbed. And then the imagination of thinking, I'll be happy. And even though you're not able to get it, you imagine. You You imagine in your mind, I'm gonna get it. Either relationship, anything. It's all imagination. It's not true because you're not the mind. And how does it come in? Because we must purify the intelligence. And when your intelligence is purified, you will be the one to direct the mind. You will now know what is sweet in the beginning, in the end bitter. Like relationship in this world. You love someone, and then you try to, it's like a bubble gum that is being chewed. And that person is not God, and you're not God. You're trying to find happiness through that person, trying to fulfill what you're longing. But it's not the longing of the soul, because it is the feeling, the willing, the thinking in the mind based upon fruitive works. It's about getting something for this body. So it means we're not on the transcendental platform. So what is a yogi then? What is a devotee? Yogi is a yogi is someone who practices yoga. And in this case, it's about bhakti yoga, loving devotion to the Supreme Person. And that person is the devotee of God. In a true sense, you're all devotees of God. We are all devotees of God. But the problem is, we are not really on the transcendental platform because of our conditioning by the three modes of material nature, because we are all fruitive workers. In Paul's ego, we are all fruitive workers. We are very selfish. And the guidance is the mind. So the spiritual master whom we should follow is someone who can control the urge of the mind, the belly and the genitals. He's transcendental to the three modes of material nature. And the reason we should follow him is because he's the teacher by example. So the student, us, who follows him, learn and understand and appreciate how we've been loved. We are loved eternally by God. That's why he comes here to establish religion. What is religion? It's not faith. It is about our eternal relationship with him. So directly, Lord Krsna tells us, surrender unto me, love me, and I'll protect you. In Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya comes. So we can remember Lord Krsna. Just like Lord Chaitanya, we discuss about loving separation with the devotees, like Radha and Krsna, the love that he wants to taste. But it's all about a transcendental meditation of separation, not based upon the false ego, but rather it's based upon the spirit soul, you the person. So Lord Chaitanya is transcendental. He's spiritual. His world is simply loving, devotion, and it's about transcendental pleasure. So he takes pleasure in the unalloyed loving service of his devotees. So that is the world we are being invited to go in, not this urge of the mind. That's why we're entangled here. So if we are intelligent, we should see, why am I unhappy? I'm looking for love. The love is already there. How come I cannot see it? So how to see it? The Supreme Purifier, the Holy Names, purifies us. So when you chant the Holy Names, you're able to see the urge of the mind. You're able to see separation. And it's all connected about alleviation of your senses. To be relieved and have relief from suffering. It's all about this body. Then at that stage, we must make progress towards entering that world wherein we are not fruitive workers. And that is based upon practicing the science of devotional service. So you look closely. You cannot be, the reason people don't want to listen because there's resistance. That's a false ego. Because you are so covered by the mind, the modes of passion. So anything that destroys that empire, that kingdom, we have discussed already last time that this body is a kingdom, that you are the king in this body. And when you are influenced by the modes of passion, you identify with the kingdom, with the body. And you follow the dictates of the mind and the intelligence. So your intelligence, when contaminated, our intelligence, is directed upon fruitive work, about control. So what we should do, we should be controlled eternally by that loving service to God. That the mind follows, everything follows. And our heart, the spirit soul, will be in that direction. So we become liberated by understanding this wisdom. And we should not be, hindi dapat tayo para bang lax. Kasi there's time factor that's connected with this body. So whatever state of mind you remember every day of your life, that will be your happiness. Your desire will be fulfilling what's in the mind. What will be very dear to you. So if it's about false ego, it's about selfishness, then all of us will not be experiencing this taste of the pleasure of loving service to the Supreme Person. So you can check. It's like trying to embrace illusion. It's like trying to chew the chewed. So everything that you do here, because you're not God, and that person is not God, you give your affection to that person. That is illusion, because the urge of the mind. So the yogi is someone, the devotee is someone who has control over the urge of the mind. And it is achievable through the process of receiving God and experiencing that loving reciprocation of rendering service to God. So yun yung process natin. So we are now in a situation, in this predicament. We have children, we have friends, we have husband, we have wife, not wives. We have a wife, kids, So you can see clearly, how can I be in a situation wherein this love that is inseparable from me and the wisdom can be a benefit to all of those individuals who are in contact with me. All the living entities. That's why the prime benediction in this age of Kali Yuga is Krsna himself, God's love. The holy names, Krsna is non-different from the Supreme Person. So when you chant the holy names, the environment gets purified. All the living entities listen, hear the holy names, and they get purified. It's not about you only. It's about Krsna. So when you chant Krsna, Krsna, it's about doing the will of God. It's about getting close to God. So the more you make progress, the more it becomes sweet. The more, in the beginning, you have no taste. But after a while, your whole mind, your whole focus, the body, the intelligence is directed upon what is sweet. It is about love. And you begin to appreciate how you're loved so much, how Krishna takes care of you. And then you experience this respect for your brothers, your sisters. You begin to care for others. And then you understand that not you're just temporary in this body. And you must make effort to be connected 24/7 in loving devotion to the Supreme Person. And it is done through the chanting of the holy names. And the more you chant, Krishna embraces you. He arranged it to be in a situation wherein it's very hard to chant the holy names alone. But in the beginning, it's hard. So you're put in a situation wherein all of you here can just come and sit and chant. You can see the Lord. You can be associating with individuals you can discuss about your relationship with God. But that does not happen when you are not in control of your mind. Because the urge to speak, the feeling to experience connection with a relationship with someone. Oh, chika. Di ba? And the mind, the willing, and then you're now in this world of illusion. And you're not able to see yourself. And you're not able to experience this separation from all what have encumbered you. Because you associate with individuals who also speaks nonsense. The crocs and the crocodile, quack, 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 quack. And then even though in a place wherein you can be sitting down and remembering Krishna, remembering your relationship with God, and then you're diverted. Don't underestimate illusion. Illusion, even though you're in the place of worship, but you cannot see Krishna. And illusion, Maya is very powerful. You're chanting, but how come you're not able to appreciate the opportunity that's given to you? Don't underestimate Maya, but because Krishna loves us so much, the spiritual master loves us so much, you don't need to make a show to be loved. You're already loved. All you have to do is listen and follow the instruction wherein we can engage in pure loving devotion. And it is about the direction of the mind, the intelligence, and you. It's just passing by everything. The body that you're in now, your attachment, all your embrace, will just be, sandali lang yan. But you think, because you're eternal, and you're misguided, you think you're eternal in this body. And if you're a fruitive worker, you suffer. Because all the attachment, all the investment that you're trying to cling on and hold on will be taken away from you. And what will be your happiness? It's been taken away from you. And then you cry. You cry in anguish. You lose your intelligence. And then what happened? You're so frustrated, you become angry. You become angry at the world. You become angry at everybody. You begin to see, Krsna, God, there is no God. If there is God, He's a mean God because He does not fulfill my will. He does not serve me. Because of the conscience, He does not give me the opportunity to enjoy. He's a mean God. And if He exists, I don't like Him. So it's a resistance to learning. It's a resistance. You see the false ego, resistant to hear the truth and association with the devotee of God. There's light. You don't want to see the reality because you don't want to see what has covered you, how you stink because of your conditioning in this world. You have this empty heart and you don't want to see because you're so shackled, embracing illusion because of this influence of the modes of material nature. We're ignorant of our real relationship and experiencing fulfillment in our heart in meditation. Is it clear to you, kids? Is it clear to you? So you don't try to make it like when you begin to chant, you see the spiritual master, you want to be noticed. Srila Prabhupada, look at me, look at what I'm doing. By the mere presence of the spiritual master, you're already loved. All what we have to do is understand, experience, and be connected with that devotion that he is experiencing. The spiritual master is fully engaged in unalloyed, unconditional devotional service to his spiritual master. So no need to make Srila Prabhupada, look what I've got, look what I've done. The spiritual master he sees everybody in equanimity. He loves you. He sees the spirit soul. He's Saktabesh avatar, the Paramatma from the outside. He sees you. He loves everyone. And he's the well-wisher. His presence and simply thinking about his activities in devotion and following his instruction will be the devotion, a connection with the will of God. So whatever encumbrances we experience in this world, we can transcend it when we are in that direction. We will not be feeling self-pity. Alam mo yung self-pity? Kawawa naman ako, ang hirap ng buhay, trabaho ng trabaho. And then you feel, kawawa ako. That's self-pity, that's ignorance. And then, what will happen? You engage in activities, gagawa ka lang ng activities just for the heck of it. There's no devotion. Then you're in Maya. Because only devotion, love, service in devotion is accepted by Lord Krishna. Kaya you just do the work. You're not able to appreciate that the work must be done with care because it's an offering to God. Either in any capacity, either how you sleep, how you take care of your body, how you use your mind, your intelligence, how you relate with everybody. It's all about devotion to the Supreme Person. It's about experiencing what love is. Because when one makes progress, he begins to love his brothers and sisters and all the living entities. Because when one makes progress in loving God, then naturally his affection will be connected with God's affection for all God's children. And that consciousness means he's happy with him. So that we should achieve. But in material conditioning, it's all what I can get. So the mind is always thinking, feeling, and willing. And if it's under the modes of material nature, passion, goodness, or ignorance, then we're in for a ride. You're embracing illusion. So no need to look for suffering. So what we should do is appreciate this process that will connect us with loving the Supreme Person. Then we begin to see how stupid we are, that we are fools, how we're not able to appreciate that we're being taken care of. Kaya because of that attitude of selfishness, we want to get something. It's all about us, about our family members, and we're not God. You're not self-sufficient. That cannot be addressed. What can be addressed properly, transcendentally, is when we're in harmony, in yoga, with loving devotion to the Supreme Person. So I'll read again. For one who is not renounced the threefold fruits of action, desirable, undesirable, and mixed, accrue after death. But those who are in the renounced order of life have no such result to suffer or enjoy. So meaning, the individual, you, when we engage in bhakti yoga, there's no karma. It's a karma. So now we live in the world of karma because of false bodily identification. So whatever we do, we have to redirect our lives. We have to see it and engage in action that is connected with what is transcendental. It's connected with devotion, serving God. That's all. There's nothing. Because our life should be connected in loving devotion to the Supreme Person. Love is inseparable from you. Service is inseparable from you. Sanatan Dharma, eternal loving religion, loving service, it's eternally connected with the Supreme Person. And as misdirection and activities that are not connected in that world that is transcendental will be the cause of pain and suffering. Because we will experience revulsion, we want something, and then we want to get away from something. We get attached to something, and then it gives us pain. We want to desist from getting attached, but we have wasted our time, and it's like holding the fire. You get burned, you take it off your hand. You hold again another. No? Why not be like a person who is like the lamp in a window space? Just watch and connect our life with what is eternally connected with us, our true transcendental nature as life, and we relate in love with the Supreme Person who is also spiritual like us. So we read so many teachings, wisdom, but if we don't act upon it, it's useless. We might affiliate ourselves. I belong to this group. You read a lot of books, Like you have it's like having a car, you have a sports car. You just don't choose it. You just start it. You just go from there to there. This body is a vehicle for the takeoff so we can go back to the world of loving relationship that is transcendental and eternal. So take this process and apply the process and experience the result. So it's up to you, whatever you want. Your life is in your hands. So if you want to touch the fire always and experience the pain, that is your prerogative, that is your choice. So Haribol, Namaste. Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prasayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namite, Krsna
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasade Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa, Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namine, Gaura Para Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prastayate